The government is trying to create jobs.
Yeah.
You know, you see that there's a lot of infrastructural development programs going on, or feasibility studies going on.
Yeah.
For example, the railway. The railway is going to start. They will start construction of the railway soon. We talk about the power generation. There will be a lot of they've finalized the privatization. They've given licenses to IPP to start developing the power sector. You find out that if we do not train our youths to be actively involved in this sector, I'm just giving you an example. What the government wants to do is to develop youths through vocational training, skills acquisition, so that we don't have, when the time comes for the rail system, you know, to the construction of the rail system to commence, we have to now ship Chinese to come and do the construction here. So there are many other areas, but I'll just give you, because it's not my portfolio.
Okay, fine. I like the aspect where you mentioned that once we are through with the rail system, we don't need to ship in people from China to come and run the transportation system. But what do we have in place to meet, to fill the gaps? Because definitely there will be need for fresh skills to be acquired, training, you know, training upon training. Do you have an idea of what's in place?
Yeah, there are vocational training going on. You know, we're training the trainers now. They're training the trainers that will come and train the others. You know, so there's a lot of training going on now, preparing the youths for that.
Let's look at things that could excite the youth to some extent. The social network thing is the in thing now. Everybody wants to be on Facebook, both young and old. Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I'm on Facebook.
What's your take on Facebook? The president is on Facebook, and I'm sure he has youth in mind when he took the decision to interact with them on the social network. But by and large, what do you think? Has he really achieved what he has set out to do? Do you have an idea of?
The president is the first president that has that is on Facebook in Nigeria. Yeah. And the president, you can say, is even a youth. Yeah. If you check the age of youth, you know, the president believes in youth empowerment, and he's developed strategies where we can fast track youth development, and those are part of the. He believed in the Pan-African Youth Council. The president is in fact, he is spearheading the Pan-African Youth Council. He is the person that is supporting the Pan-African Youth Council. Now, the Pan-African Youth Council is the council identified by the African Union to do youth development in Africa. Sincerely, you have other youth councils that's also recognized by the African Union, but these councils have their lobby groups for certain governments, their political organization. But the Pan-African Youth Council is a youth development council that has put structures and strategies to have a fast-tracked youth development program in the continent of Africa. So the president is in support of that, and that's how he appointed me. You understand? To now advise him on youth development in youth empowerment in Nigeria because of the Pan-African Youth Council initiative.
That's interesting. Beyond that, can we look at specific areas that you are going to make a difference in during your tenure as the advisor to the president, in terms of what you have identified that you want to see that is initiated and see through. Because what we've realized over the years in Nigeria is that most projects, they will start well, and we don't get, when can we start getting results from some of these initiatives? Because I believe that some of the things you are looking into is to get some youth to acquire some skills abroad. Things like they are going to be training ambassadors and things like that. I read something like that about the youth empowerment initiative scheme. But I want us to, how do you think your own will be different from what has been happening? Because, like I said, if you visit Federal Ministry of Youth Development now, there will be a lot of brilliant projects. How much result have we got from all these things? What are the fundamentals? Why is it that we can't get results? Why is it? What are the fundamental issues? And how do we go about it because you need to understand these fundamental issues for you to succeed. No matter how brilliant your ideas are, the executioners, those people who see these things through, how prepared are they? How serious are they? How do we arrest corruption which is the thing killing getting result in most brilliant ideas? I just want to hear you. Just feel free, because it's fundamental. It's not sufficient to talk. It's not about rhetoric. We have serious issues on our hand. We have a huge crowd of youth out there unemployed, and it's become, that's why we have, the issue of unrest in Nigeria today is attributed to the long neglect of the youth, because how many old men have been captured throwing bombs, getting involved in Boko Haram? You understand? So an idle hand, that's a devil's workplace. And the more we bring the youth to the inner caucus of how things are done in Nigeria, the better. After all, there is an adage that says that those things that the elderly people are doing, if you don't expose youth to it, it will just go in extinction. So I just want to know how you are prepared to face the challenges, or let me put it to you: what are your challenges? In your advisory capacity, and then what do you think you can do to make the difference?
Yeah, thank you very much. It still goes back to the passion, vision, and sincerity of purpose. Sincerity of purpose is the key factor that makes a program succeed, or a program touch lives. So without sincerity of purpose, the program would not touch the lives it's supposed to touch. Now, let me go back to the scenario of the big elephant again, because you see, the youth problem is, I use the elephant again. Now, it's the same elephant. We've done the blood transfusion. We're trying to integrate the already existing standalone programs. Yeah. Now, we have to, after you do the blood transfusion, you have to start the treatment from the head. Leadership. In our survey, we found out that the youth leaders have been used and abused by the political class, and they don't believe, there's so much talk, so much lies, so much promises, people are not held accountable to promises, so they've been abused and have been used, So we've developed a youth leadership program, because you need proper leaders that believe in an ideology. We have to imbibe an ideology in leadership. This leadership is the leadership that we go now and become ambassadors of this program. We have a youth leadership program which will pick 2 youths from each state.
That's good. 2 youths from ech state.
What
will be your criteria for choosing?
We will pick 10 actually from each state, but eventually 2 will be chosen.
Okay.
We are partnering with the Institute of the North, Alaska, in America. Institute of the North is a foundation for Governor Bob Eckel. Eckel was he was the governor, second governor of Alaska, and he was the Minister of Interior during the time of Richard Nixon. So we've picked the Institute of the North because they have very good mentoring programs. Now, Institute of the North is our partners. They will come to Nigeria, they will pick 2 from the 10 youths. We're not going to get involved. That's sincerity of purpose. So if 10 comes from a state, we're not going to say, oh, this is my brother or this is my sister. We have brought Institute of the North to do the selection. Now they will select 2 in each state, including Abuja. Now these 2 will go to the institute in Alaska, where they will be trained on how to manage resources, because the problem we have now is everybody is talking about oil. Everybody's eye is in the Niger Delta. So you see the average guy in the north doesn't know he has more resources than the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is landlocked. They don't have resources. They just have resources under. But we need to develop leaders that can see how they can use their land through proper irrigation and cultivation to turn food into oil.
It's like we have